Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Dragon Age 2. In the last episode, we were checking in on Meryl, just, making sure she hadn't committed any murders or done anything else evil like that, and we were gonna head off to see our final companion, proper companion, that is Sebastian. Sebastian doesn't count just yet. Yeah, we were gonna head off to Anders' clinic to see just how he's doing and continue on with the train wreck that is Amelia's love life. You have other options, girl. You have so many other options, but you won't take them. And that makes me sad. I don't know what you mean by that statement, sir, so I'm just gonna leave well enough alone. Alrighty then. Oh, buddy. You doing alright?
Don't come running to me next time you pick up one of these diseases.
Isn't that the point of magic?
I don't want to know.
Things just keep getting worse. I had Templars practically on my doorstep the other night.
Oh god, and were they after you?
The Templars are hunting you.
Not me specifically. They were just checking the refugee camps. But it's not like this place is a secret. It's only a matter of time.
Oh, maybe you need to stay someplace safer, such as, Hawke's bedroom.
Don't tell me these things. I might have to lock you up to keep them off you.
Sweetheart, I'm not letting anyone lock me up. You included. The Knight Commander is out of control. Even her own people have been talking about it. The curfews, the midnight raids on mages' families. Everyone I know forced into hiding so they won't be made tranquil.
The mages should submit. Amelia absolutely agrees with that statement. However, Amelia does afford Anders a level of empathy that she does not afford Meryl. Does that make sense? I said this before. She believes that Anders got tricked, that a demon was grooming him and convinced him that he was doing a nice thing by letting it possess him, and she really does view Anders as a victim in all of this, and I think she'd be more inclined to be like, are you okay? Do you want me to fix you? Please let me fix you.
Is that making it harder for you? With justice?
In the Fade, there is no time. Emotion rules everything. Justice doesn't know how to sit idle until the right moment to strike. And I can't say I have any greater patience. I fear what my anger has made of my friend.
Buddy, we've talked about this. He's not your friend. He's a demon.
You may split hairs over what sort of spirit lives in you, but it seems more demonic every day.
Justice is no demon. He is an ideal that men have striven to reach and never managed. I have not attacked the Templars openly. I've helped the mages here as best I can, but this impasse cannot last. You're at as much risk as I am. That's what I worry. What if your money and position aren't enough? What if the Knight Commander turns on you? Everything I've done to control this. I don't care. I would drown us in blood to keep you safe.
Oh, okay, we're jumping straight to blood magic. I will say this, on the surface, this sounds like something Amelia would say. However, what it actually is I don't want to lose you, not to yourself or to the Templars. And I'm like, I don't like that anti-Templar sentiment right at the end, so I want to avoid that. this is kind of funny, so I think this is, as I've said many, many times before, Amelia's defense, or her way of disguising that she is afraid, is to use comedy. So I think this is a like, oh shit, he's talking about blood magic, is he gonna distract him with a funny flirt?
You don't think we should start with flowers? Jewelry?
If that's the man you're looking for, you're in the wrong place. There will be more violence. I know that. If you tie yourself to me, I'll only hurt you.
What's that? I can hear in the distance. Is it the train? Is it the bad decisions train? I think it is. Whoop.
Nothing would hurt as much as losing you.
You don't want to do this. I have no control around you. I never thought I'd meet another mage like you. Another apostate. Don't tempt me. Not unless you're ready for what that means.
No, I don't want that friendship. We need more rivalry. We need all of the rivalry. God, it's such a train wreck, and I love it so much because I love the pain. I love the pain and suffering that Amelia goes through. Okay, first things first, this is just a little side point. I've seen that scene with a male Hawke, and the flirting is significantly different. The line about, don't you think we should start with flowers, jewelry? That isn't there, and instead you get this option about controlling himself or something like that. It's not the one about, it's not the one I pointed out. I don't want to lose you to yourself. Actually, it might be. It might be, I'm not sure, but it leads to an entirely different conversation where Anders basically says, then join me. Join my quest. I find that interesting. He doesn't have the, don't tempt me, I'm really not a good guy, you probably shouldn't tie yourself down to me. He does not have that conversation with a male Hawke. I find it interesting that when he's romancing a lady, on some level he feels guilty. I find that interesting. I don't know why. Now yeah, onto my main point. What's been going on between these two in the past 3 years? I think that Varric, I think he really probably pushed, Anders, go and see her in her house. Go and see her. She lights up when you're in the room. Go and see her. I really like that, especially with the line about when he's talking with Cassandra and what is it? That warden Anders. Don't remind me. I introduced them. I like the anger there. I especially like it when Hawke romances Anders. Such a good little detail. But yeah, I think Anders probably came to chat with Hawke a lot during that first year, and I think one of the unfortunate side effects of Carver's death was that it really pushed Amelia into Anders' arms in a really roundabout way. If you remember, I said this during that cutscene. I'm the healer. I'm the one who's supposed to realize when people are getting sick, and yet I missed blight sickness, which is a very obvious illness, in my own little brother. What kind of healer am I? I'm clearly so incompetent. And I think Amelia has really stewed on that. She has really stewed on that feeling. And the conclusion that she kind of drew was, what if Anders had been there? What if Anders had been on the Deep Roads expedition with us? He would have probably caught it sooner. he probably would have been able to save my little brother. And that thought has really increased her opinion of Anders. Anders has become this amazing healer in her mind. She really looks up to him, and she is probably like, I bow down to a skill far greater than my own. Like, she has really come to doubt her capabilities as a healer. She is like, I'll defer to what he says. In Act 1, she wouldn't have done that. But in Act 2, she's like, nah, he's the healer. I'm like the backup healer. Which is kind of sad, because she's the main character. She should be the backup healer, but I digress. I like to think one of the big jobs that kind of got her out of her home was, you know, maybe Varric whispering in Anders' ear that, hey, she really values your opinion. Maybe you could get her to help out in the clinic. And that's exactly what happened. Anders said, excuse me. Anders said, hey, Amelia, I'm really swamped with the amount of healing I've got to do. Could you come down and help me out? And as I said, Amelia now thinks that Anders is this amazing healer. So she was so grateful that he would consider asking for her help. And I think she has spent a lot of those 2 years in the clinic, helping Anders out, interacting with him. You know, he's doing that thing where he's flirting with her and she's feeling flattered. But what's this? She's been hanging out with Isabella. She's been getting emboldened by Isabella, and now Emil's like, well, I'll flirt with you back. In fact, I one-up your flirting by flirting with you first. And it's just a garbage fire, guys. It's a complete garbage fire, and I love it so much. I mentioned this in one of my origin stories. At least I think I mentioned this. I like characters to reap what they sow. If I have a character who is a cinnamon roll, who does good things purely because they want to do good, they have absolutely no ulterior motive, then I want them to have the best ending that they can possibly have. If I have characters that are black as coal, they are evil through and through, I want them to have a really negative ending. And whilst I don't think Amelia is evil by any stretch of the word, she is a zealot. She does have hateful views, and I feel like she should be punished for that. And her punishment is a train wreck romance. It's the only way. Now then, History of Kirkwall, Chapter 3. The Kunari first thundered into Kirkwall in 756 Storm, during the last of the New Exalted Marches. The collected nations of Thedas were attempting to drive the Kunari from the northern mainland once and for all. Kunari armies were on the retreat, but in a desperate gamble, their fleet circled around the Amaranthian coast and landed a great force near the Marcher city of Ostwick. Their plan was to overwhelm the Marcher cities of Starkhaven and Kirkwall. Starkhaven to block the roads leading north, and Kirkwall to block ships on the Waking Sea coming from Orlais, all in an effort to deny supplies to the Thedas armies assaulting Ravane. The attack on Starkhaven eventually failed, but Kirkwall was attacked in a daring night raid, where the Kunari used their leashed Cerebas mages in an unprecedented display of sorcery. The walls were torn down and the city was taken, and for the next 4 years, Kirkwall endured the most brutal occupation in its history. Writings from that time are scarce. It was not until after the city was freed that the Kunari's deeds came to light. children taken from families, forced conversion to the Qunari religion, and brutal labor camps. It's ironic that the old slave quarters of Lowtown, still intact after centuries, provided the perfect means for the Qunari to control the city's people. When the famous Orlesian Chevalier, Sir... Oh! This is the guy who was speaking in the Kirkwall Guard Codex entry a couple of episodes ago. When the famous Orlesian Chevalier, Sir Michel Lafay, rode into the city after finally defeating the Qunari defenders, he wrote, "Kirkwall is full of people with empty eyes that have had all independent thought driven from them." When Lafay was appointed the city's first Viscount by the Emperor in 760 Storm, he made it his mission to undo the religious conditioning. The Lafay bloodline remained popular enough that when the city finally rebelled against Orlesian rule in 805 Blessed, Viscount remained the enduring title for Kirkwall's rulers, despite its origin. From Kirkwall, the City of Chains by Brother Genitivi, 924 Dragon. I find that super interesting. Also, I think I forgot to read Anders' Codex entry. Whoops. Anders. After the Deep Roads. In the past 3 years, Anders has become more reclusive, verging on paranoid. When not with the champion, he spends his time among the Ferelden refugees in Darktown, healing their ills and counting on their loyalty to protect him from curious Templars. After his friend Carl was made tranquil, then killed, Anders was convinced that the Chantry's entire structure must be overturned to free mages completely from their control. He has joined a group of like-minded apostates who are slowly wearing away Kirkwall's circle by helping other mages escape. The spirit of vengeance inside him has manifested more strongly, making it nearly impossible for him to control himself when fighting Templars. Oh dear. I think Amelia would be desperately trying to get him to stop hanging out with, said group of apostates, but, Anders ain't gonna listen to her. Anders listens to no one. Oh dear, that's not a good sign. That's really not good. Now then, I'm thinking we should head home. It's the end of the day. Mother wanted to speak with us, so we shouldn't keep her waiting. And there it is. Home sweet home. Also, I'm a little bit close. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
You've settled in nicely. It's just luck. And skill. Indeed. Still, more coin never hurts, right? Say, if someone wanted to pass some work your way...
Everyone does always need something.
So how can I be of service this time?
Someone's trying to be a guard, poorly. Remember Emmerich, the Templar? He wants your help, and some sort of official sanction.
Official sanction?
For his Investigation. He's convinced that every random murder in the past few years is connected, and he won't be quiet.
Oh dear. Why not check it out? Are you sure he's wrong? I don't mean to be rude, but the city guard were wrong last time. If you recall, this is referring to oh god, what was she called? Nanette de Carac, that was it, Ghislaine's wife. It was something like 4 women went missing, one of whom was a mage, so the city guards wouldn't exactly have known about that one, but the 3 regular women, they all went missing, and the city guards insisted, oh, they've just ran away from home. They've just ran away from home. It's perfectly normal. We're not going to get involved. And then we followed the trail, and it's like, oh, what's this? A bag of bones and a random hand. Yeah, they just ran away from home.
Seems like it should be easy to prove if there are bodies.
Kirkwall isn't the safest place. That doesn't mean everything terrible is related. There's no sense to that. Can't be.
Fair. That is fair. If he is claiming that every murder is connected, that is a little bit far-fetched.
You don't think it's worth investigating?
I have. He even convinced one of my lieutenants to raid the Dupuis mansion. Nothing there. You wouldn't believe how much ass I had to kiss after that. Bloody hobbyist constable. Why can't he spend his declining years building a boat or something?
Hell if I know, love. Yeah, I'll help you out.
Muzzle the geezer. Got it.
I would never say that. But if it leads somewhere genuine, I'll pick it up on your word. If he shuts up, that's good too. He's in the gallows. Thanks, Hawke. I appreciate it.
No worries, love. No worries at all, Hal. Look at our beautiful home. Oh, and Puppy has a nice warm spot by the fireplace. Isn't this better than Gamlen's house? Isn't this better? Yes, it is. Now then, first things first, do we?
Well, a letter arrived for you. It's on the desk. That's where I'll put messages which come while you're out.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you, Bodan. Yep, I knew it. Thedas calendar. For most good folk, the details of our calendar have little purpose. It is useful only for telling them when the Summer Day Festival will be held, when the snows are expected to begin, and when the harvest must be complete. The naming of the years are a matter for historians and taxmen, and few, if pressed, could even tell you the reason that our current age is named after dragons. It is 930 Dragon Age, the 30th year of the 9th age since the crowning of the Chantry's first divine. Each age is exactly 100 years, with the next age's name chosen in the 99th year. The scholars in Val Royeaux advised the Chantry of portents seen in that 99th year, and Chantry authorities pore over the research for months before the divine announces the name of the imminent age. The name is said to be an omen of what is to come, of what the people of Thedas will face for the next 100 years. The current age was not meant to be the Dragon Age. Throughout the last months of the Blessed Age, the Chantry was preparing to declare the Sun Age, named for the symbol of the Orlesian Empire, which, at that time, sprawled over much of the south of Thedas, and controlled both Ferelden and what is now Navarra. It was to be a celebration of Orlesian imperial glory. But, as the rebellion in Ferelden reached a head and the Battle of Riverdane was about to begin, a peculiar event occurred. A rampage. The rising of a dreaded high dragon. Dragons had been thought practically extinct since the days of the Navaran dragon hunts. And they say that to see this giant beast rising from the frostbacks was both majestic and terrifying. As the rampage began, and the high dragon decimated the countryside in its search for food, the elderly divine Faustine II abruptly declared the Dragon Age. Some say the Divine was declaring support for Orlais in the battle against Ferelden, since the dragon is an element of the Dufayel family heraldry of King Megrin, the so-called usurper king of Ferelden. Be that as it may, the High Dragon's rampage turned towards the Orlesian side of the Frostback Mountains, killing hundreds and sending thousands more fleeing to the northern coast. The Ferelden rebels won the Battle of Riverdane, ultimately securing their independence. Many thus think that the Dragon Age will come to represent a time of violent and dramatic change for all of Thedas. It remains to be seen. From The Studious Theologian by Brother Genitivi, Chantry Scholar, 925 Dragon. Okay. Very interesting. And hello?
Oh, that dog. Well, maybe chew marks add character to the piece.
That's the price of having a Mabari. They chew everything. Oh, good Bubba.
It's strange living here again. My childhood home. Now owned by my child. It's not something I could have imagined when I was a little girl staring out this window. I'm still grateful you used your money from the expedition to buy back the estate. I feel like an Amel again.
There it is. But you're not an Amel. That's the thing. I really feel like Leandra only wanted to be an Amel again because her life in Lothering fell apart. Does that make sense? Like, if the Blight hadn't have happened, she'd have no interest in this whatsoever, but because suddenly she lost everything there, it's like, well, I've got to go reclaim what's rightfully mine, and it's like, you gave that up. You gave that up. You don't have any right to it now. But here we are. Yeah, please don't start putting on airs.
Just don't go all pompous on me, all right?
I promise. If there's one thing I learned in Ferelden, it's that good people can be born in a hut as easily as a palace. Honestly, after so many years as a peasant's wife, it feels strange to have nothing to do. But I can't spend the rest of my life mourning Bethany and Carver. They're gone, and I can't bring them back. I guess I just need to start picking you out a suitable husband.
Oh no. Oh dear. Amelia has eyes to look for that sort of thing herself.
Hey, look. A partially burned page from Anders' manifesto.
Amelia, you probably burned the manifesto, let's be brutally honest.
I've been wondering if I shouldn't remarry. I've heard that pirate girl of yours talk. I'm sure the last thing you need is your mother watching over your shoulder every time you come home. But perhaps there is still life once your children have outgrown you.
One, she's not my pirate girl, but I would like her to be. I'd really like it if Amelia could have a nice romance, but no, that's not on the cards for her.
Sounds like you've got someone in mind.
Nothing I'm ready to share yet, so don't pry. But it is refreshing to think I could still be courted at this age.
I think Amelia would be really happy for her mum to remarry. I think she'd be like, yeah, that'd be nice. Mainly because it's like, if she remarries, that means she's someone else's problem. That's a really harsh way of putting it. And Amelia wouldn't think like that. No, it'd be something more like, if she remarried, then there'd be someone there to look after her. She'd have that companionship, freeing me up to go to the circle. So yeah, I think Amelia would be all for Leandra getting married. And then, do either of you have anything to say?
If you need any enchantments, I'm sure my boy would be happy to help.
Okay.
Enchantments!
Oh.
Just so. Boom! Ah, there he goes again. How he makes these things, I'll never know.
Well, has he always been like this?
I've never seen another dwarf like him. Does this run in your family?
Not at all, but Sandal isn't really my son. I found him in the deep roads when I left Orzammar for good. Raised him as my own now. Isn't that right, my boy?
I like Bodan.
He's always been this way. Always collecting things and enchanting them. Strange, I suppose.
Aw, I love Sandal and Bodan's relationship. Like, I really genuinely love it.
Have you ever thought of finding out more?
Well, I did. I brought him to the Circle of Magi about a year after we got to the surface. They called him a savant, but then they started giving him the eye like they were going to keep him, so we left. Not going back to those vultures. Sandal's happy as he is.
Good for him. No, we're not going to say that, and dear God, no. Amelia doesn't even want to think about that. Yeah, we are grateful for his help. Sandal's sweet.
Sandal's quite useful to have around.
That he is. Also, I've always said. Oh, Maker knows what'll happen when I'm gone. I try not to think about it.
I want some pie.
God damn it, Sandal. We'll get you some pie. We'll get you the best goddamn pie ever. And with that, I am just about out of time for this episode. In the next one, will Sandal get some pie? Tune in to find out. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.